Today I'm sharing my top 5 most loved holiday recipes with you. These may not be new, but they certainly are tried and true. I hope you love them. For this next one, we're making maple pecan, butternut squash, and Brussels sprouts. If this isn't the most beautiful dish you've ever seen, I mean, look at those colors. This is absolutely incredible. I'm gonna start by dicing up my butternut squash really small, like really tiny cubes. Then we're gonna slice our Brussels sprouts in half. I'm gonna put those in a bowl, toss those with olive oil, a little bit of nutmeg and ground cinnamon. Then air fry those at 390 degrees for 10 minutes. Then kind of shake them up a little bit, twist them, move them over, and cook them for another like 5 minutes. You just wanna make sure that they're nice and crispy and roasted. So that while those are air frying, we're gonna make up our like candied pecans. I've got 2 tablespoons of butter melting in the pan. I'm gonna mix in a couple tablespoons of maple syrup, about a teaspoon of soy sauce, and then I'm gonna put in pecans, probably about a third of a cup, quarter cup of craisins, and you just want those to get nice and coated and candied. And then we're just gonna pour that whole mixture right over that air fried Brussels sprouts and butternut squash. I love when I make a recipe and I know it's going to be added to my rotation year after year, even though I feel like my favorite recipe list is getting mighty long. But this one will definitely be on the Thanksgiving and maybe even Christmas table this year. It is so fantastic. I made this as a side, but there was so much of it, because it's like a full, thing that you would serve at Thanksgiving, that I was able to eat it for lunch for the next few days. And it was something I looked forward to every single day. It is beautiful. It will make your house smell amazing. You will love it. Another super easy one at only 5 ingredients. We're making mac and cheese, and it is shocking how delicious this actually is. You again want to start with 1 8-ounce package of cream cheese, 2.5 cups of milk, 4 cups of shredded cheddar cheese, or you could use whatever your favorite cheese is in a mac and cheese, and then 1 can of evaporated milk. And these are things that I usually have on hand anyway, so it's super easy to make this. And then I cooked mine for an hour on high, and I separately cooked my elbow macaroni, and then I put it in and then cooked all of it together for another 45 minutes. And the crazy thing that happens is it seems almost like watery before you add in that mac and cheese, the macaroni. But once you add the macaroni to the dish, it kind of takes on some of the liquid, and it just becomes so velvety, so smooth. I brought this to a friend's house, but I'll be definitely serving it at Thanksgiving as well, just because it's so easy and such a nice thing to do in the crock pot on the side and not have to worry about it. I'm just all about finding something that works that is not going to be cooking in my oven. So Jiffy corn casserole is a non-negotiable from my family on Thanksgiving, but I saw that you could do it in a slow cooker, and I thought, wow, this is an amazing idea. So I just really wanted to try it, see if it worked, and it turned out awesome. I'm going to start with 1 egg and 1 cup of sour cream, and then 1 box of Jiffy corn muffin mix. And if you're gluten-free, I've actually made this before using the gluten-free, it's like Krutz's or Krusties. I'm going to say it wrong, but if you measure out the same amount that's in the box of Jiffy, you can do it with the gluten-free mix. And then you want a can of cream corn, and then 1 drained can of corn. And last but not least, 1 stick of melted butter for good measure, because this casserole is obviously very healthy. But I mean, we don't have to worry about that on Thanksgiving, right? Calories don't count on Thanksgiving. So this is a delicious dish. Then you just pour everything right into your crock pot. I greased mine with some butter and cook it on low for 3.5 hours, and it turns out perfect. This is as good, if not better, than what I would bake in my oven. It's a perfect alternative to cooking something in your oven if you're looking to switch a few things out of there, and it tastes delicious. If you've never had Jiffy corn casserole, it's addicting and everybody loves it, I swear. So you might as well give it a chance, because it's just not very hard to make, and it's just full of buttery goodness and flavor. For dessert, we're making a cannoli dip, and if you haven't had cannoli dip before, this is the time. It is so delicious. I'm a huge cannoli fan myself. Whenever I get takeout from my local pizza place, they have the most delicious cannolis, so I can't help myself but grab one. This was so great to make at home, and it's so nice for sharing when you have a big event. You want to start with 8 ounces of packaged cream cheese at room temperature and 2 cups of ricotta cheese. You want to beat that together until smooth and add 1.5 cups of confectioner's sugar and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Then you want to stir that mixture until the sugar is completely dissolved and incorporated. And then we're going to fold in about a cup of miniature sweet chocolate chips. You can see how simple this recipe really is. It's really low ingredient. You then want to pop it in the refrigerator for at least 10 minutes. When you take it out, you can cover it with a few more of those miniature chocolate chips. And then you can use, there's a multiple items that you can use to dip in this. I personally found some cannoli chips at my local grocery store and I was lucky to find those, but I know not everyone has access to them. So you can actually just get regular unfilled cannolis and use those and just break them up. Or I've heard that waffle cones are actually fantastic with this. So if you get like a sugar cone or a waffle cone package, break those up into little pieces and give those a dip as well. I really hope you try this because it really is fantastic. It's something that will wow guests and friends, and it's so easy to put together. I made this for an event we call Wine Lunch, where I have my grandmother, aunt, mother, and friends usually come over, and we just have a great time together.
We're gonna make pumpkin crunch cake. I'm gonna start with a can of pumpkin, mix in 1 can of evaporated milk, 3 eggs, 1 cup of sugar, and a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. You wanna mix that up really well. I feel like this one took the internet by storm last year, so I'm hoping I can kind of catch on the tail ends of it. So you wanna fill a 13 by 9 with parchment paper. There's like fancy ways to do this on the internet, but I haven't been able to figure it out. So we're gonna pour this in here. Then you want 1 package of yellow cake mix. Then you sprinkle that with 1 package of vanilla pudding mix. Then we're gonna put some chopped walnuts. And 1 cup of melted butter. Just like evenly sprinkle that over as much as you can. We're gonna bake this at 350 degrees for 50 to 60 minutes until it's like fully cooked through.
And then once it's fully cooked, there's no jiggle to it. It's, comes out clean with a knife kind of thing. Although maybe it won't because it's kind of soft, but that's okay. You'll know when it's ready. Take it out and then you're going to let it cool. You want it to be 100% cool before you start putting the frosting on or anything like that. And then you just want to flip it over. So I just pulled out my parchment paper and then flipped the actual cake over and peeled that off. It's a really satisfying experience. And then you can make the frosting. So that is 1 8-ounce package of cream cheese. You want to make sure it's softened so that you can kind of mix it up. 1 cup of powdered sugar and 3/4 cup of whipped topping. So like Cool Whip, or I just use the Aldi brand. And you just want to mix that with like a hand mixer, or you can use that in your regular mixer. And then you just slather that over the top. And that's why it's so important that the cake is actually cool. But this is incredible. It's amazing because the crunch is actually on the bottom. And the flavors, it's a very, very rich dish. So you probably only want to have like 1, bar, hopefully, if you can keep yourself to that. And, but it's perfect for Thanksgiving or like a potluck this time of year. It's really, really fantastic. I can see why it's viral. I hope you love these recipes. Click on this next video to get some more inspiration.